Auto Group, Corvette specialists, plus all makes auto repair, featuring parts, sales, detailing, towing, mechanical, bodywork, paint, and upholstery. For more information, contact Corvette Specialties Auto Group at 580-8388. Cruisers Pit Stop Diner is also pleased to sponsor Motorsport Monthly. Before or after the race, visit one of Cruisers' 3 locations in Chilliwack, Maple Ridge, and Langley. Call 533-RACE for great food and fun. Cruisers, the place to be. Cruisers Pit Stop Diner and Corvette Specialties Auto Group are supporters of Racers Against Drugs. Companies with a community conscience working hard to make motorsport a family event.
Well, Steve, I don't know. It's Monday afternoon. Show airs in about 3.5 hours. What are we going to do?
It's not that we don't have enough tape to pick from, David. We've got a whole bunch we've had since last September, and actually last August, considering that was when we covered the Indy. Going to be a lot of fun doing the stuff, but it's just we have to figure out what we're going to do.
First thing we're going to have to do, though, is I'm going to introduce my host. This is Steve Erickson, and we're talking about Motorsport Monthly, the news show here at Rogers Community for Surrey.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, as I said earlier on, and we've had the luxury, I guess, or the privilege of going around covering different events, for the different, whether it's cars or motorcycles or whatever, and we've had a lot of fun putting the show together, and we've spoken to an awful lot of, nice people, and it's going to be a real good time.
We talked to so many nice people. We got so much good footage here. We've got precisely 1 minute to talk about what we're going to be showing on this show. I think we're almost out of time. Ashcroft, GM Pro-Am.
And what else? The Vancouver Motorsport.
Right.
The show we covered. Other than that, a lot of good people we visited with all the time, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it.
That sounds good to me. Well, why don't we just go to it right now?
Let's wing it.
Okay.
Okay, Mark Braun, you're from Langley, British Columbia, and you're in the Junior Dragster division. First off, tell us how you get started in it.
First of all, we found the Junior Dragsters at Seattle one year when we were in the Jolly Ranchers, and we decided that this was what we wanted to do because my dad races a car too, so we thought since we were always at the races, it would be fun to get the whole family kind of involved in it.
Well, is everybody involved? You got a whole your whole pit crew's all the family, eh?
Yeah.
A little bit different. How old are you right now?
13.
Is that unusual for a 13-year-old boy to be driving one of these?
Yeah. People are always saying, what, you drive a Junior Dragster at school?
Well, we talked earlier, you got a little Briggs & Stratton. Tell us a little bit about the motor.
It's basically just like a lawnmower engine. It works better if you get it hotter, so when we're sitting in the staging lanes, we usually just warm it up a bit, and then that's it. There's nothing really to it other than the gas pedal and the brake pedal, and then you go.
Well, we were looking at, even the steering wheel is so much smaller than the normal conventional wheel.
Yeah, it's different because it's a dragster. It's like more aerodynamic. If you have the big round one, it would be just too hard to steer it.
So where do you go from here? You race in Mission?
Yeah, that's my home track.
So you race there in a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
good luck with this. We're going to keep our eyes on you. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mark.
bye.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Dave Hamelin, you're very busy. We can see you're pulling apart part of the motor. A little bit of problems with it?
Yeah, today we just had a nozzle. Part of our fuel injection system has a small orifice in it. We plugged one of the orifices, so that cylinder went lean. Consequently, it bent some valves and detonated, blew the blower off, and busted one piston. So we're just busy fixing that up.
Just at a rough guess, how many spare pistons does the team carry?
Well, not enough is probably the standard answer. As many as you can afford. We've got 2 brand new with us only this weekend, and we've got 8 that we could, if we were in a bind, I guess, use.
Hey, which team you with?
We used to race the Super Comp car. My name's Dave Hamelin, and we did quite well with that. That's an 890 class, naturally aspirated. And I'm a chassis builder. I have a chassis shop, so we just decided to move up. I've always wanted to do this all my life. So we got involved with another guy, Thomas Baumeister from Kitimat, BC, and he came up with a few bucks, and I grabbed my team from the last few years, and we threw it together. And
So where is the team based out of?
we're out of Surrey. Well, actually, we're out of Langley, BC. And we tried, this year we're on a learning curve, and it's hurting quite a bit. It's costing a few more bucks than it should. We got some people helping us out. Torco Oil helps us out quite a bit. Fuller Battery, and a few other companies. So we're getting some help, but we could use a lot more, of course.
A lot of stuff involved. I see several people back here working on a motor now. They're replacing the piston. How long is it going to take them, to get this started?
Well, we're supposed to make our next session in an hour and 15 minutes, and hopefully we'll have the other cylinder head off and all that side fixed up and all back together in an hour and 15 minutes.
You guys do a good job. A good day for racing out here, and good luck in the future.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
We've got Pete and Dino Cross. Pete, a little bit of a noisy area right now down here, but tell us, you've been involved in racing for a long time. How did you get started?
Well, just got started with the competitive theory. Wanted to run, build cars, worked on cars and mechanics for several years.
So it's father and son team now.
Father and son team, always has been.
Where are you based out of?
Seattle.
It's good racetracks down there?
Some good racetracks in Seattle. We have Seattle International Raceway. We also have Woodburn down just south in Portland. And we enjoyed it immensely.
So who's the basic driver? Dino
This
driver?
year has been Dino's year, and he's the basic driver in the car at the present time.
Well, tell us a little bit about the car first, and then I'll get over to Dino.
It's a 1991 Oldsmobile Calais. Got 350 cubic inch Chevrolet small block motor, to super stock specs, which gives us some extreme limitations. Has a narrow forward rear end, and it's a car that has been converted from front to rear wheel drive.
It's a gorgeous looking vehicle. It's almost, I guess you would say, almost a shame to see such a nice vehicle racing out there the way the speeds they go right now. But
just like a family car, you bet.
I don't think it's a little roadworthy to take out in a Sunday drive, but needless to say, it's a gorgeous vehicle. Dino, we'll talk to you. Thanks, Pete, for joining us for half a second. I'll move over to Dino. Dino, it's unusual, first off, to see a father and son team. I guess we go back to Al Unser and the family there. But what possessed you to get started in this?
Well, I didn't have any choice. He was racing when I was born. I was born at the track, basically. It's just something that was in the blood, and you start watching, and it's addictive. It's like a drug.
Is there any type of special training you had to go through to learn it? Because watching some of the guys drive and come off the line, the cars weave and it's really scary.
Well, just concentration and learning how to react with each vehicle that you drive. I've driven other cars, faster cars, slower cars, and everything handles a little differently. Just have to remember it's by the seat of your pants, how to feel each vehicle and how to react. If you overreact, you're going to get in trouble.
Now, have you got any ideas about maybe looking at getting different type of vehicle for next season at all?
Yeah, actually I do. I'd like to move up. There's 2 categories higher. There's a class called Pro Stock, which runs national only. And I've been working with some sponsors, trying to come up with some good money, and if I can get it, I'll be gone. And then just travel the country and go racing every day for a job.
Good job. So where do you go from here?
From here, if I do well here, towards the end of next month, we'll go down to Phoenix and then back to LA, and that'll end our season off.
What do you do for the winter in the off season?
Work to pay the bills.
No doubt.
And work on the car just to try and improve things over the winter. Always changing something. The smallest change sometimes changes things bigger than something really major that you'd think would help.
It's a gorgeous vehicle. Good luck in everything you do from here on in, and thanks for stopping and talking to us.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Dino.
Have a good day.
Here at the Eagle Motorplex, Mr. Jammin' Joe.
Dino, how's the car running?
Not too bad today. We're running about 10-12's our best pass today. Need to go a little bit faster. We made some changes, and we'll go out here and see if we can do it.
No doubt you will. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then. James Clark, a little bit out of the distance here, coming out of the Surrey area. Tell us a little bit about what you're involved with here.
Well, we have a full-bodied rear engine top alcohol dragster that we campaign in the Pacific Northwest and basically right down to California and into the mid-United States.
Well, it's they've got problems right now, but they're overcoming them. You're saying you're running in the low sixes?
We have been running in low sixes, 215, 220 category. The car's been working pretty good, but we've actually got a little ahead of ourselves. Car ran so good, so easily that we got a little overconfident and consequently got caught with our pants down.
Well, track conditions pretty good?
Not too bad. I'm used to a little smoother track, but basically the car has ran on very, very smooth tracks, and when you change from track to track, it makes it very, very difficult to compensate for all the problems that you do have.
Now, you got 7 people work with you on the crew. Must be an awful lot more people involved?
Well, I have a complete staff that I have at my business that helps constantly, and then I have friends that chip in and that. But we keep between 5 and 7 people coming all the time with us, traveling.
Well, it must be tough. What distance you're looking at traveling when you actually, go on the road?
Well, in years past, we travel anywhere we had to go. I got out of it for about 5 years and consequently decided to get back into it, so we built a new truck, trailer, and car, and this car's only got 3 races on it, really. So it's basically not even broken in. But we'll travel anywhere complete from east, west, north to south.
Now, we were looking earlier on here. You were telling us that you blew the side off the blower.
Well, what happened was that at the 800-foot mark, we took the burst plate out of the side of the supercharger, consequently kind of aborted the run. It still ran a 650, 200 miles an hour, but had no high gear. Consequently, we've fallen back. We found the problem, and now we're back on track again.
Well, you had an awful lot of tough competition out here today.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be tough, definitely tough. We're only in number 8 spot. Hopefully in the next one we'll get ourselves down to around 4 or 5.
Who do you look at for sponsorship?
Well, I have Snap-on of Canada, which has been very, very good to us. I have my own business itself, which is Northside Automotive, as well as we have other supply houses like Alder Auto Parts and War, which is Walt Austin Racing, and Pennzoil. We have many, many sponsors, actually.
Well, a lot involved to put something like this on. The people behind the scenes do a good job with you, because just watching, it amazes not just myself, the public at home, when they can actually see something like this. You have a problem and you can fix it so quick.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. I mean, this morning there was nothing of the car. We had it tore down to completely nothing, and you can put it back together in a matter of 45 minutes to an hour.
It's a tough go, because not only you blow the side off the blower, then you end up with clutch problems. So one problem sort of offsets the other one.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's part of racing. It's a catch-up game. You never win. You're never on top. And if you don't anticipate absolutely everything, then human nature will pick up the finest thing, and you'll be right back to the bottom again.
You got a tremendous vehicle. Keep up the good work, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate it.
John and Darlene Evans joining us here in Ashcroft, the site of the drags this weekend. First off, I have to mention to Darlene, congratulations on just getting remarried, or married. I shouldn't say remarried, married. It's nice to see. I'm going to switch my attention to John for a second, so don't leave me on my side. John, tell us a little about the vehicle you're racing here.
This is a Super Comp rear engine dragster that we run in an 890 limited class, 160 miles an hour. The car is capable of going 830s at 170 miles an hour, and I built it myself.
Not only, as we were talking earlier, not only are you the driver and owner, it's a little strange that people that own vehicles actually get involved in driving.
In this sport, a lot of the owners do drive. They've got a lot of money invested, and until the day comes that they feel that they're getting a little too old for the sport, then they try to drive them themselves.
Now, the car's running basically pretty good?
Oh, very good, very good. It just had a very quick time, 162 miles an hour. We're more than happy this weekend so far.
Well, so far it's running good. Tell us a little bit about the type of motor and the sponsors that help you out.
Okay. Sponsors, our major sponsor right now is Pennzoil Oil and G&M Trailers. We have a multitude of small sponsors, Kerrisdale Speed Center, Lowriders, Consumer Brake and Alignment, Port Kels Tire. A lot of small people help us out in this sport. It's very much appreciated. It's a 330-inch small block Chev, runs on alcohol, it's injected, makes about 650, 700 horsepower.
How many races a year?
This year we've run 16 races, and that's a fair number for the year. That's about average for us.
That's about average. Where do you go from here?
From here we go back to Mission, BC.
And that's only coming up in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks, and that's the end of the season for us, and we'll tear everything apart and start rebuilding for next year.
Do you have a favorite track?
A favorite track of mine, would be Woodburn, Oregon.
That's a good choice because I've heard that from a lot of people today.
Yeah, I've won 3 races there and runner-up 3 times there, and it's a very friendly, nice track.
Good. I'm going to turn my attention now over to Darlene, and you're free to go if you want to, but I'm going to talk to
I got to
Darlene.
see what you got to talk to her about.
Okay. Okay, Darlene, we were talking earlier on, besides just getting married, tell us a little bit about the involvement. We were talking up here about your raffle tickets off. Now tell us a little bit about what it's about.
I got involved in, it's called DRAW, Drag Racing Association of Women, a couple of years ago. It's an international organization, 100% nonprofit. And what we do is we sell memberships. It's for men and women both, sponsors, anybody that's willing to put up $18 a year. Our cause is predominantly, totally, to help families of an injured racer.
Now,
if they need any money financially, any kind of support whatsoever.
How do you learn about the injured racers? Different tracks contact
Different
you?
tracks, we fill out injured reports, and I'm the first one that's supposed to know and does know, in fact. I've got my cards at every track. Everybody knows about DRAW.
Now, what type of insurance package do the drivers look at when they're racing?
Nothing.
Nothing. I've heard that
Yeah.
it's a tough draw
It's a very
to get
tough
insurance
draw.
for them.
And nowadays, with the economy being predominantly what it is, more so now, a lot of the guys are working for outfits that don't have any kind of a medical situation. So if they are injured badly enough, or even sometimes just a little bit, it's an interim thing. And if DRAW can help that family financially, they're right in there.
Now, if somebody wanted to offer some type of assistance, who would they phone, and
They would
what would the
phone
number
me.
be?
It's 596-9480, and we live in Delta. There's an answering machine. 596-9480.
Well, it's a very commendable job you do, because I know there's a lot of people do get injured. You watch it on television all the time, and it's a real tough go because you really got to feel for the people that get hurt.
Yeah, I really do. I've had a lot of satisfaction. I've had a lot of help. We do 50-50 draws. I sell merchandise, T-shirts, golf shirts, whatever, anything and everything to raise funds for this cause.
Well, you do
Well
a very,
worthwhile.
very commendable job, and
Thank you.
our thanks go off to you. And I really
Steve.
want to thank you and John as well for joining us here today in Ashcroft. Gorgeous day for racing, too.
Thank you very much. We thoroughly enjoy it.
Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
I guess the one thing we'll look at right now, Dave, is the GM Pro-Am that we covered downtown.
Oh, the one where we got to test drive all those brand new vehicles.
Well, I don't know, I was quite amazed. That's the only time my girlfriend said she ever had a chance to drive without getting a speeding ticket. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time, and it was quite the course, considering they had it set up with the ABS brakes that we love so much.
ABS, cones, water. It was a great time. Got to bang a caddy off a few of them. Don't get to do that too often.
Didn't even get no bills in the mail in the last little while either way. But that was a good time. The other person we had a chance to talk to down there was a gentleman named Roger Thomas. He was with General Motors Engineering, and he was very knowledgeable on the different new things that are coming out with the different, on the different model of cars.
Oh, what are we wasting time for?
Well, let's do it. Roger Thomas, engineering. Now, cars, first off, have come an awful long way from what we were talking earlier in the 50s with the fins, and to the present day. Engineering technology has just improved by mass.
Oh yeah, the technology in our vehicles today is exponentially better than it was even 5 years ago. Engine technology, for instance, our cars produce a fraction of the emissions they produced 10, 20 years ago. They get better fuel economy, and they even make more horsepower, which is a trick we didn't know how to do 10 years ago. So.
Now, you're involved with the emissions, you were telling me.
Yes.
Tell us a little about the emission control factor.
The emission controls on the vehicles control hydrocarbons, which are unburnt fuel, carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas given off when you get incomplete combustion, and nitrous oxide, which you get when you heat air above 1350 degrees Fahrenheit. And the systems we have now, we have 98% reduction in hydrocarbons, 98% reduction in carbon monoxide, and 90% reduction in NOx. So they're a lot cleaner than they used to be.
How stringent is it controlled by the different governments in Canada?
Currently, we have the same level of control across Canada. There have been certain provinces that have talked about going to California emission standards, but that hasn't as yet happened. And really, I don't think you get as much benefit from that as you'd expect.
Now, one question I guess that the public would like to know is, if you follow a bus, you see all the big black fumes that come out of the back of a bus. How strict is it for control on that?
Actually, surprisingly enough, the diesel engine is fairly clean from a controlled pollutant standpoint. The nitrous oxides, hydrocarbons and CO are all relatively low on a diesel. What you see is particulate matter coming out of the vehicle, and that is being controlled more tightly, and is a large function. That's the fuel. They've gone to a low sulfur diesel fuel, and that makes it run a lot cleaner, and you should get less smoke out of the vehicles.
Now we're here today covering the aspect of the ABS braking. Tell us a little bit about it, how it gets started, and why did it get started?
ABS braking is probably the most important safety feature of the 90s. General Motors believes that all our vehicles should have it. In fact, all our domestic vehicles have ABS as standard this year. What it gives you over a standard braking system is improved control on the braking. It stops the wheels from locking up, which means you can still steer, and the back end isn't going to come around you. So you can put your wife or your kid into a car and know that they're never going to lose control because they brake too hard.
Now we noticed on some of the vehicles they have ABS braking on the back and not on the front. What's the biggest difference in that?
That's primarily on our truck lines, and the reason for that is on a truck you design the braking system to function when the vehicle's fully loaded, and because the load is not there on an empty truck, the back wheels lock up very easily, and as one of our earlier systems was the rear wheel anti-lock brakes to stop the back end coming in on the truck when it was unladen.
Now, does the ABS braking, does that fluctuate on the weight of the vehicle? If you have a heavier vehicle, does it affect the braking system?
No, not really. Well, the more weight you put into the back of the vehicle, obviously the more work the back brakes can do. So they don't lock up as easily. But if you take the weight out, then the vehicle they're more inclined to lock because there's not as much weight on the tires.
Now, what does General Motors have in store for the future?
On trucks, we will be going to four-wheel ABS probably in the next 2 or 3 years. Some of our vehicles already have it, and in the future we'll roll that out across the board. And obviously the airbags that we have on our passenger cars right now, we have driver's side airbags on virtually all our cars, passenger side on quite a few of them, and we're just getting into doing that on the trucks also. We're just starting to introduce them. Our vans have passenger side driver's bags and driver's side airbags, and we're going to full airbags on those in the near future.
Well, I know the General Motors line of cars, they're gorgeous looking vehicles, and you people do a very commendable job, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So much for the GM engineering and the GM cars. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I still think my favorite car was a Cadillac that you didn't manage to bang around too much. But we covered the Vancouver Motorsports Show downtown, and that was quite the thing.
That's where that guy had that beautiful green 56 Ford Fairlane convertible.
Yeah, it was Gordy. We never did. Yeah. We apologize. We never did get Gordy's last name. But he does live in Surrey. It's a 56 Ford Fairlane. He has rebuilt it. And Gordy's told me he's got thousands and thousands of dollars invested in that, as you know. And in fact, the money he's got invested in that, most people, their car's not worth that right now.
And then we're going to go from him. We're going to go take a look at 56 Arbit. You ever hear of a 56 Arbit?
No, it's a little different from the Rabbit, but anyway, it's a small car, a little tiny one, and we were even inside it.
World's smallest car.
Yes, we were inside that car. Had a lot of fun doing that. I actually didn't think I was going to fit inside that without a shoehorn, but we did.
How about the guy next to you?
Yeah, he was amazed. He was shocked. A lot of fun, so I guess we'll look at those two things next.
Okay, sounds good.
Gordy, a beautiful piece of machinery. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a 1956 Fairlane Ford convertible. There's quite a few made. It's not really a rare car. There's not really too many left. It's hard to find parts. I found the car in a storage shed 5 years ago.
Obviously, nothing what it looks like now.
It was a basket case. It was horrible.
You were telling us you get parts from all over the United States?
All over. I think I missed maybe but 2 states, and that's about it. And really hard to find parts that aren't reproduced.
All original parts, we should say, too.
There's all original parts. There's a few reproduction parts, like the wiring harness I had to find, and a few of the emblems, like the plastic emblems, they're all reproduction. Of course, the glass and all the rubber.
Now, we were talking just a little bit about price-wise, so people know. The little part on the car by the door handle right behind you, you were saying that's a fairly substantial piece of dollars and cents.
It's NOS, found in the original Ford package. That was $140 US.
Just for one little article?
Just for the one article. And the article right down here on the fender, the bottom, they were $600 US. Little piece of stainless, about 8 by 8.
Now, tell us a little bit about the motor that's in it.
It's a Thunderbird engine. It's a 312. And
It's original?
It's all original. Everything on the whole car is original. There's no aftermarket stuff. It's all original, right to factory specs.
And you still drive this too?
I drive it, and I intend to drive it anytime, any place. Doesn't matter.
Now, obviously, we were talking earlier on with the age of the car. You must get an awful lot of people just amazed by the car.
Oh, they're really amazed for the age of it, and well, it's their era where they grew up, and they just love the car. It's the style, the workmanship, like the stainless, the chrome, and the body style.
Now, we were talking, first off, what would possess a person to put a car on the show like this?
Oh, I enjoy talking to people, meet different people, and just proud to have something like that, and I just want to, like anybody, show it off.
Oh, well, it's just a gorgeous piece of equipment, and you've done a marvelous job with it. Congratulations.
Thank you very
really
much.
deserve it.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, you can drive, okay, and I'm going to try and attempt to get in this thing, and don't ask me how, because this thing is just...
We'll do this without the shoehorn.
We'll do this without the shoehorn. Okay, should I ask which part first, or what?
You want to go in tail first, so to speak, and then pull yourself in like an octopus. And then later on, we may tell you how to get out.
I actually had visions that the roof come off it.
Watch the short guy do it first and do exactly
short guy.
what he does.
Okay, this could be interesting. Watch this now, watch. Okay, my heavens. Okay, and you can actually fit two people in this thing.
Yep.
Well, this is amazing. Okay, well, I'll get in, but you just behave. Okay, now you watch this now. This, don't ask me. I'm going to get in this thing, and don't ask me how the devil I'm going to get out of this thing. Okay. 1.
You're doing great.
2. So far, we're doing good. Oh, my lip. Move the sign, David. My heavens. Okay, Dave, we're in the car. Can we have a Coke and fries to go, hopefully? Now, you want to see the trick of this? We got to get back out of this sucker. You first or me first?
I'll get out first because it's a tight move.
Tight fit? I can't even find the door handle.
That way you can lean over a little more. No, I'll get your door going for you.
Oh, but that's the door handle.
There it is.
Jesus, okay, that's like turning on an electric razor. 1 out, okay. This is gonna be a chore and a half. 2, 3. Call him 911, I don't believe that. You can fit 2 in it. How many people in the phone booth? You ever had 3 in it?
Yes, I have. I take
With the roof on or off?
the roof on. I take myself. My son is 11 and my daughter's 8, and I cram them over kind of in the middle. Sometimes they ride, in line. Sometimes my daughter sits in the middle. Away we go.
You must attend lots of shows like this.
Matter of fact, we haven't done very many shows at all. Mike is the guy that said, I think it's time to get this out to some big stuff, and I said, well, you run with it. It's all up to you. And so away we went, and he's been doing a good job for me. It hasn't been shown very much. Matter of fact, the guy that built the car, he put it in a show in Spokane, and too many people were bothering him, so he pulled it out. So it was only in the show for a few hours.
Well, it's quite the unique little toy, and I'm going to come back down maybe on Sunday and get my picture taken in it. Okay. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
That's basically all the time we got today, Dave, to cover the show, but we've had an awful lot of fun doing it.
Absolutely.
We've got more tapes, and then we could show, a lot more footage, but we're going to save that for a later show.
Yeah, NHRA Winston Cup points meet mission, be there.
Yes, I guess that's first part of May. I guess we should also say on behalf of myself and David Reed, the producer of the show here, we want to wish the Canucks all the best in the upcoming round of the playoffs, considering you're wearing one of their T-shirts, David, so I guess we have to plug that aspect of it. In closing, we're going to show you some of the highlights that we had a chance to cover up at the Ashcroft Drags at the Eagle Motorplex up there. Had an awful lot of fun, so David, till next month, I guess we'll just go right to it.
Right away.
Corvette Specialties Auto Group are pleased to sponsor Motorsport Monthly. Corvette Specialties Auto Group Corvette Specialists, plus all makes auto repair, featuring parts, sales, detailing, towing, mechanical, bodywork, paint, and upholstery. For more information, contact Corvette Specialties Auto Group at 580-8388. Cruisers Pit Stop Diner is also pleased to sponsor Motorsport Monthly. Before or after the race, visit one of Cruisers' 3 locations in Chilliwack, Maple Ridge, and Langley. Call 533-RACE for great food and fun. Cruisers, the place to be.